and they started tracking phones and stuff, and we had an idea that he might have come down, but we didn't confirm it until I went to a training at that farm in Rome, Georgia. I pulled up, counted the cars, counted the bodies I saw under the awning because it's pissing rain, and I'm like, there's an extra person there. And I walked up, and as soon as he started speaking, I was like, "Oh hell, that's Canadian." So we had him. So now I'm sitting there on after 5 hour rucks or whatever we're doing, and now we had a few drinks, and we're sitting outside the barn, and I'm just listening to hate all night long, and you know what they would have to do when the boogaloo happens. Like, I mean, these kids are having conversations about how they're going to have to kill their parents.
Jesus.
And I mean, one of them's dad is right upstairs, who came down and drank with us. And you know, it was Pat who said, you know, got teary eyed, and he said, you know, once the boogaloo happens and we take over, if you are not fascist, you are automatically anti-fascist, and that is a penalty of death. And he said, I may very well have to put a bullet in the back of my dad's head. And he said that on more than one occasion. And Luke said, I could do it, but I would cry myself to sleep every day. I would probably get somebody else to do it for me. And then Pestilence, who I thought was one of the more dark, morbid kind of guys, said, you guys are farther along than me because I couldn't kill my parents. So those are just one of the many
God.
wild ass conversations.
So
Uh,
when you're undercover with these guys, I mean, are you worried about them counter surveilling you? Because obviously you're
mhm.
communicating back to the FBI. But when you're doing, I mean, and obviously don't disclose any, tactics, techniques, or procedures. But I mean, you're fully invested in this undercover life. I'm assuming, like you're living the life that they think of the person that they think that you are.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I mean, when I'm with them, yes. Again, it depends on the case. Like, you know, I lived in McAllen, Texas, on the border when I did the Outlaws. So when I got to the airport, you know, Scott Payne drives to the airport, but as soon as I step out of that vehicle, I'm Scott Calloway,
Yeah,
and I'm not Scott Payne again until I get back to Texas. Now, do I have cover teams that I meet in Boston and all this? Yeah, but there's nothing on me that says.
yeah,
I mean, you got to be hyper vigilant, especially when you're going deep undercover. And when I say deep undercover, I mean real deep undercover.
yeah.
I hear a lot of people that say deep undercover, and you got an ID and you bought gas under a fake name.
That
That's
doesn't
that,
mean shit.
or you know, like me at the state and local level. I'm going, and yeah, I guess you're undercover. You're definitely undercover, no doubt. But we're going to do like three buys and then hit you with a search warrant. At least that was my narcotic squad kind of thing. And I mean, if I'm posing as a user, well, I can come up with a couple of lies here and there on why I can't use with you one or two, three times. But if I'm coming in as a user and I'm deep undercover and you haven't seen me do dope in 2 months, you probably, at least with your people I've infiltrated, you're going to have a gun pulled out on you at some point,
Yeah.
you know? So it's all about your backstop and it's all about your story. Um, and you have to be hyper vigilant about cleaning yourself. I mean, like, you're wearing the jacket you always wear. Did you take that jacket to the dry cleaners? Does it still have a receipt in it that says Scott Payne? What about your medication? I mean, the FBI didn't teach you that. I mean, they didn't teach this in class or to be certified as an undercover, but I was tight with my doctors, and I said, "Look, this is what I'm doing. Can you put this prescription in Scott Calloway in the name of Scott Calloway, so I can at least have a prescription bottle with my shit
Yeah.
and not Scott Payne?" And and several times they would do that for me because you can't take a chance. So
So how did your time come to an end with the base? What was the net result of your time there? You said you spent about 7 months with those guys?
yeah, it was a fast paced 7 months, and you
Yeah.
really just go where the case takes you a lot of times. For the most part, my cases, whether it's being a case agent in criminal enterprise type stuff or even undercover, I mean, a lot of my cases went like year and a half, 2 years. Not that that's the be all end all. It's just that, okay, now it's time. We've got what we need. Now it's time. Or you got a threat. And in the case of the base, we had threats. We had uncovered after I gained a lot of the trust from Pestilence and TMB and then the Baltimore crew. We had uh, we had information, good information that they wanted to, the Georgia crew wanted to murder what they thought was an Antifa couple, in a